Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Hey.
Now we're live.
All right, we're live.
Before I even say anything for real, let's add on to the disclaimer. I'm not a therapist. I'm not pretending to be a therapist. I'm not portraying a therapist. Also, please respect the fact that people who come on the show are coming to share their stories and their testimonies, and it's coming out however it come out, raw, rugged, however they want to say it. So it might get real, it might get racy, and you definitely gonna hear some cursing. So please respect the fact that people are sharing. With that being said, welcome back to another episode of The Trust Tree. I am your trustee, D. Vino. Hope everybody's having a great week and had a great weekend. We breaking through the weather like we talked about last week. Fuck the winter. It's done. Hopefully, for real, because low key, y'all can't really see it, but I got on Crocs because I'm just too thirsty. But anyway, it's National Women's History Month. Shout out to women. Everybody hug, kiss, and thank a woman that's important in your life that's had some sort of impact on you. Somebody that need a hug because they just out here stressed out in these streets because sometimes it be a lot. So, as you can see, we have a guest with us today. Man, like we not here to talk about that, but I just feel like I should point out he's one of the greatest fucking MCs that I have heard, not just from Chicago, but in the general sense. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna let him introduce himself, how he feel like introducing himself.
Damn, I don't really know how to feel after that right now. Like, can I get a second to blush a little bit? You know what I mean?
Tell the people who you are.
Well, I mean, my name is Giancarlo. They call me GC as a rapper, GC Blackout, to make it a little longer. But yeah, I'm from Chicago. I've been here a couple of times before, but definitely had to come here again, to do, have this sit down with yourself, and that's what it is.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna jump right in. Were you born and raised in Chicago?
I was.
Okay. So what do you remember like about your childhood in Chicago?
Damn. So I'm basically, when I was a kid, we lived on Granville and Damon, right? Right. So that was until I was 7. But then from 7 and on, I've lived in Logan Square.
Okay.
So I guess you could say I'm pretty much Logan Square. Like, not pretty much, I'm Logan Square as hell. So shouts out to all my Logan Square people. And so yeah, I mean, what I remember, that gets pretty deep. I don't know. Specify a little bit. What do you mean? What do you want me to say?
Just in Logan Square the other day at Small Bar.
Ah, okay. Yeah. That's by my crib.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, that's like right by my crib. That's a Small Bar. Wait, hold up. Yeah. That's the one on by Wellington.
Yes.
Yeah. My crib is on the other side of Sacramento, but like right on the other side.
Okay.
But I ain't gonna say too much because we got people listening.
The perfect.
Yeah.
The perfect goddamn name because it's definitely a small bar.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, because I grew up in Chicago, born and raised. I couldn't really imagine like having a childhood somewhere else. I mean, I'm pretty sure like, other places their childhoods were, pretty much the same, running the fucking streets all day and all that kind of shit. But it just feel like it's something different about growing up here. You know what I mean?
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a big time difference.
Yeah.
Like, all right, shall we get deep from the very beginning?
Hey,
let's fucking do it.
It's
part of my language. Like, I remember I travel a lot. Like in my growing up, in these ages now, right? Like, and I remember I was coming back from New Orleans. I have family in New Orleans. I traveled back and forth from there a lot since a child. But I remember one time I'm over there by the terminal, and there's these little white boys, right? And they're like, dude, are you from Chicago, dude? Are you from Chirac? And I'm like, yeah, I hate that, by the way.
Everybody does.
Yeah, because I mean, I said it in one of my songs. It says Chirac, kill the noise, tired of that, kill that noise, thinking it snap kidding to the citizens and little boys. Right? Like, that's my whole thing. Like, I always thought that was just whack as hell to like glorify that, but whatever. Anyway, so I just remember, like, I hate that I even did this, but this was just off instinct when they asked me, like, so is it really Chirac, dude? And I remember I lifted up my shades and I showed him my bullet hole. I didn't even say a word to him. You know what I'm saying? And he goes, whoa, dude. And then just walked away. Right? So like what I mean is, like, even before that, when my little cousins out there, they would ask me questions, and then me thinking I'm telling them a mild story, to them, it's like, like, I mean, they get scared to the point where they don't even want to talk to you after that. And then it lets you know. You come back here, and the things that we normally talk about really aren't normal. So like that was kind of like my point. The things that we've gotten desensitized to, the things that I'm okay with hearing or doing at one point are not normal at all to the rest of the world.
No,
So yeah,
no. And then
yeah.
and since you brought it up, I was watching some shit on YouTube, but it came from Vice, and there was a guy doing a documentary, and he was going around to prisons, or jails. He hit up the county, but it was kind of slight. But then he went to DuPage, and
Okay.
like every inmate in there was on meds for like PTSD,
Mm-hmm.
young as hell,
Mm-hmm.
And then I would imagine somebody coming from here where like you shouldn't go over there if you're from over here. You really just shouldn't go over there. Period. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Like other people don't move that way. So to
yeah.
us, it's just a regular conversation, and other people are like, "What the fuck you mean you can't go?
Right.
Like you live there?" Yeah,
Yeah.
shit. I mean,
Yeah. And depending on like what your upbringing is, who you know, and how you live, sometimes you're kind of forced to know every block. Like
hmm
if you don't, then you're gonna go right into the trap. That's why it's like don't follow GPS. You know what I'm saying? Like don't ask your
right.
phone to give you directions somewhere
If you
if you're
don't
not
know a little bit about where you're going.
right. It depends. You know what I'm saying? Who you are, but like there's some people that just can't get away with that. You mess around and get caught in the wrong parts, and it's over with. So
Yeah, and it's a shame that
yeah.
like I remember younger, like shit was real back then also, but like
Mm-hmm.
now though, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everything has its own definition of it was real or it is real. Like back then, the difference was back then you see 40 dudes on the corner. You don't see that no more. Now it's just that everybody just loves social media and putting shit on camera. So they'll just get at you with a banger and shoot you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like it's real in its own ways, all different eras, but it's always been real dangerous. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
so, but yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's a lot more weird now because social
Mhm.
media has made everything just what the fuck's going on. Like,
Yeah, for sure. And then also for that reason, like lost a lot of its there's no discipline, right? So there's a lot of like as they call it, like renegade, where more so there's nobody elder,
hmm
leading the way. Even if it's in a bad way, I'm just saying, like
at least it was somebody back
at
in the
least it
day.
was structure,
Yeah.
So like now since you have that, there's no rules, there's no nothing. So it's just like, to each his own.
When you were a kid, what did you want to be?
Uh oh shit. I wanted to be an astronaut.
That's fucking hilarious and amazing at the same fucking time.
I know it sounds crazy, right? But like I wanted to be an astronaut. I feel like I wanted to be a lot of shit, but I wanted to be an astronaut. I also wanted to be a salsa singer. I still want to be a salsa singer. So,
I'm not mad at neither one of those. When
yeah,
when
yeah.
you
You could
wanted
be
to be an
both.
astronaut, did you have any idea what the fuck you had to do to be one?
Not really, nah. I was really young, like fourth grade.
At any point that like throughout your formative years, did you like research what it would take?
No, no, I didn't. Because then, like I said, that was my earliest memories of knowing what I wanted, thinking what I wanted to be. So then after that, I wanted to be like a counselor. That was like seventh grade, eighth grade. Then after that, well, things changed a lot after that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Where'd you go to high school?
Okay. So I started off at Mushin, which is a Noble Street in downtown, and I only lasted half a year there.
Yeah.
Because well, shit, man. I mean, like they were, and shouts out to Mr. Cleaves because he's probably gonna listen to this because I have him on Facebook. So shouts out to Mr. Mullins too, my coach. See, that's the cool thing about when you're growing up now. We all got Facebook and stuff, and our
Mm-hmm.
teachers are
You
like
can
friends.
keep in touch.
Yeah, a lot of them, like that I have on Facebook and stuff. So shouts out to them. But and he was the one. I want to say shouts out to him because at Mushin when I was at that school, so what happens is every time that you have like a detention or something like that, they just run up your bill, right? Like they charge you for every detention. They
Like
charge you for
literally.
everything. By the time that I was halfway through my year, my total was $780.
Oh no.
So,
Hell
I swear
no.
to God, no, hold up.
No.
So I remember, I'm like, yo, I gotta go. You know what I mean? And he's like, I remember he took me to his office. He's a dean of discipline, but also my advisor. And so he's like, look, I'll pay for it. And I was like, Mr. Cleaves. In other words, I wanted to tell him, like, dude, I'm not staying in this school. It's not about the money, but it was about everything. But I wanted to transfer. I wanted to go to to my public school, to the neighborhood school, which is Schurz, which is where I ended up transferring eventually. But I mean, obviously for the wrong reasons. I was a teenager. You know, I wanted to go over there for the freedom of it and other reasons, but for the sake of time and good convo, we'll skip that. Yeah, this is
Gotcha.
yeah.
That's a lot of motherfucking money, though.
Yeah.
Like, for real.
No, yeah, but you know what? I wasn't even the most. There was kids that had a bigger bill than mine. You know what I mean? We had bills to pay in that school. I'll tell you that.
And then, like, did it have to be paid like at the end of the year?
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't know. I never stuck around enough to see how long it worked. I left.
Because I hope it wasn't like, oh yeah, in order for you to get your diploma, you got to pay whatever your motherfuckers probably had $18,000 bills by the time they got got to senior year.
Yeah, I don't know. I should ask. I mean, I have a bunch of them on my Facebook. We'll put that post up.
I'd be curious to know. That's crazy as hell. Yeah. Okay, so you leave the school downtown, you go to Schurz.
Yeah.
So you got what you wanted. At first, you was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm back."
Well, it was it wasn't really like that. It was like so like Schurz has a reputation of being a very shysty school. So my like mentality was like, all right, brace yourself because this is about to go down. You know what I'm saying? So like I get there and I'm walking with my mom down the hallway just to like bring like my transcripts and stuff. And immediately, even while I'm walking with my mom, dudes try to punk me in the hallway with my mom. You know what I mean? So I already knew what time it was. And I'm like, all right, well, I see how but low key, when I got there, it really wasn't like that. That was just like coincidence. But anyway, so I was there and it was interesting because it's such a big school. I think the amount of kids was like close to like 4,000. I mean, it's up there with like Lane Tech.
Yeah.
You know? So but you know, there's people from all different groups. It's kind of like the movies, you know, you got your preppy kids, your white girls, your this, the that, the gangsters, and the fake ass gangsters. There's a lot of those. So I noticed that. And I was stuck in this whole like thinking I was, well, not, you know, I was, okay. So I was, all right. Yeah. It's cause just trying to be careful with my words here. But, but anyway, I was really like, you know, I would be out there where I live. And not for nothing. Like it wasn't like, again, I don't want to make it seem like I was out here, you know, putting in work and this is what my life was. I really want to make that clear for anybody that's listening. It was just more so like at that point, the people that you end up, you know, becoming closest to. So my best friend who's listening right now, shouts out to you, or you should be. And if you're not, we'll talk.
Shame on you.
Yeah. His name is Evo. I call him East. And he ended up getting his grandmother got sick in Argentina. So his mother told him like, yo, we got to go, you know, out of nowhere. It was just from one moment to the next. We would every day I'd sleep over his house or he'd sleep over my house. So imagine they just take your best friend, right? So at that point, I kind of really was like, I had friends, but like not as close as like how he was. He lived close. We was close in every way. But then, you know, I got into smoking weed and all of this shit. And who had it? Well, you know who had it. You know, the dudes from the block. So it became one of those things where, you know, you buy off of them, you kick it with them and this and that. I know I'm kind of straying away, but it's all part of it.
No, it's all good.
Cool. So then after that, that's how like relationships got built. You know, even though there were false ones, they were still relationships nonetheless. And so so I would ditch school a lot and I would be with them. And like I always refused. Another thing, I love that I'm able to clear this up because people don't really get it. There's a difference between affiliation and initiation. You know what I'm saying? It's a big deal to be initiated. And you get that ass whipping, you're forced to do things. I wasn't forced to do shit because I wouldn't take that ass whipping. But regardless, it's not like it changes things. When you're on the block with somebody and somebody pulls up, you still got to kind of do it. It's not like you could just be like, wait, no, this doesn't count. I don't count. It's not how it works. You know, you can't be like, no, that's lava. I'm not in the lava. Like, that's not how this shit works, right? So like, so I got into my fair share of trouble. And then, which also then started pissing me off when I'm like, well, shit, if I can't do this, because, you know, you get penalized for false flagging. So if I can't rep something that I'm actually a part of every day, and I go to this school where they're repping the same block where I'm actually in, and I never even seen you, well, that's where things started getting a little weird for me. So like, I start, getting into certain things, let's say, right? But what happened was that semester, that second half of the year finished. Then the next year started, sophomore year. And that second half, the first half of the year, that's when I got shot. So then now, I'm 16. I'm about to turn 17 at this point, and I end up transferring to Walter Payton High School.
This is after you got shot?
This is after I got shot
Okay.
because this is the only high school that. Well, I don't know if it's the only, but I know I think it's one of two that has a program for the blind and visually impaired. I know Whitney Young has one, but I don't think it's as advanced as Walter Payton.
Okay.
So they had called me, and I remember I got that call, and I'm like, well, my sister, and she tells me like, yo, John, like, Walter Payton called, and only the football player, and I'm like, yo, because I know damn well the school ain't calling me. I know that, you know what I'm saying?
Shit.
So, but I'm like, shit, all right, let's do it. I'm nervous because, I felt like I wouldn't fit, and I was damn Skippy right. I didn't fit when I got there. Everybody. I mean, luckily for me, I had really good friends from before, from grammar school, that went to that school already. So I clicking up with them. They were there for me. Shouts out to Perry because I know he's gonna watch this interview too. That's my dog, and a few other people. And and I made a couple of friends there too. But for the most part, this is no shade at nobody there. It's just that we're not from the same place. So I felt like my story coming from where I came and everything, and I was freshly shot. It was like people were like almost scared to even approach me because it was like, yo, this dude, you know what I mean? Like,
You think it was more of the shot thing or the blind thing?
no, it was the shot thing.
Okay.
For sure. Like the blind thing, that shit, if anything, that softens the blow. Like, but for these people, it's like they just, and also like I came from like a rebellious standpoint too. Like I came from like I'm 16, 17. What the fuck are you telling me? I don't give a fuck if you're an adult. Well, these kids, they're like law-abiding citizens to the fullest.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like when I'm over here and they ask me, why didn't you do your homework? And I'm like, look, I told you I didn't do my homework. Let's just leave it
Like,
at that.
what the fuck are you asking me questions?
Yeah, don't ask me why didn't I do it. I told you I didn't do it. Like that's it. You know what I'm saying? But like these other kids will be like, wow, dude, like, so like this is the part where the disconnect is extreme. You know what I'm saying? And like, well, 3 high schools. 3 high schools. So went from Noble Street to one of the worst. I hate to put it that way, but a public school with a bad reputation to, I think, one of the best schools. Like
at that time, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's between
Yeah.
it's between Northside, Walter Payton, and like Whitney Young. Either way, it's a selective enrollment. It's a good school.
Yeah.
And shouts out to that school too. I don't want to make it sound all bad. I learned a lot. I learned a lot there. It was cool, but I was just speaking upon like the transitioning aspect of it. So
Okay.
yeah.
Now let's rewind a little bit and go back to the elephant in the room.
Mhm.
So you're at Schurz and you're kind of realizing that like like you said, the affiliation versus the initiation is some real shit, but at the same time it's kind of not. What happened surrounding you getting shot?
Surrounding, as in, what do you mean?
Like, what the fuck happened? How'd you get shot?
Oh, okay, yeah, it's a better question. All right. So, shit, it's I'm gonna take it. All right, buddy at home. So this is how it goes down.
Okay.
It's kind of I'm trying to figure out how to maneuver through this because it's without too much detail. It's like basically I used to get in the car. We used to. There was a dude that lived by my house, and I'm obviously gonna say no names here, right? There's a dude that lived by my house, and he had an uncle who was batshit crazy. And he was too, like literally, like he was not well.
Probably should have been on medication.
Oh, big time.
Okay.
And so I remember like his uncle, which now looking at it in retrospect, I don't even think it was his uncle. I think this was some fucking, like, I don't know, like some older dude that just would offer a teenager money or whatever a teenager would want at the time so that he can get his way with them.
Mhm.
I'll get to that point in a bit.
Okay.
But so he would let him stay with him. Now, like the relationship that I would have with him, with the older guy, would be like, you know, I would just throw a rock at the window, like, yo, and then he'll just throw me down $20. And then be like, oh, you got a pack of cigarette? Throw me another $20. Like, go buy yourself a dub and go buy yourself, you know. So this is why he would have all of us coming around, you know. So then so that was like the spot, you know. Anyway, I would go over there, and came the day. So I got shot on the 30th of November. I remember Thanksgiving right before that. Um, I had gone after Thanksgiving with my family to that house where he had offered me a bunch of shit, and that was, you know, like he tried to get me as messed up as possible, right? So he bought me my own 24 pack. I'm fucking 16, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. With like 5 blunts and whatever. And so I remember I was messed up, and I asked him if he can get me right home, and he, mind you, I live. You know where Small Bar is?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where they stay.
Okay.
Yeah, so my house is very close, right? So in fact, they live closer than Small Bar. They live right by the viaduct.
Okay.
So you know that ride was short, but he tried his shit with me, and I'll leave out details just to do it. He just tried to put some hands on my leg.
Okay.
As he was driving, and I remember I looked at him like the fuck, and I grabbed his hand and threw it off me like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? You know. I ended up calling my boy like, yo, the one that introduced me to them, and I'm like, you know, what's up with that? And he's like, come to my house. I go to his house the next morning, and I knock on his door, and he's like, come here. He's like, yo, bro, he literally asked me last week, like, I'll give you $500 right now if you let me suck your dick. So he's 15, I'm 16. So we're dealing with that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying this because I want to for one, we're being transparent, and for two, like just to bring awareness to the fact that all of this shit is real. It does happen. And you know, so like watch out for this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Grooming is real.
Yeah. Rapists, all this weird, creepy bullshit, it happens. And a lot of it has to do when they know what you want, and they'll offer you the world or what the world is to you for their benefit, right? Yeah. Anyway, so he would let us borrow his car, his van. It was a white Chevy Trailblazer. And I used to be the one to drive it. So like we would just go like on blunt cruises and shit. But this day in particular, when he pulled up with his nephew, and his nephew went and just basically ran into the into the driver's seat. So I went into the passenger, and then one of the guys went behind. You know, there's 4 of us in total. You know, so 2 of them, the driver and the guy behind me, they are gangbangers. The dude behind the driver is not. And me, I'm what I am, which was whatever the fuck you want to call it, you know, affiliated. And so we're driving, and I noticed that we're going past a certain blocks that we're definitely not supposed to be going down. So I look at him like, yo, bro, like, what are you doing? Ooh, shit. Vibrate, sorry. Anyway, so we're going down these blocks. I look at him like, what are you doing? I remember the guy behind me's like, yo, no, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if anything, if we see these dudes come out, anywhere, I'm just gonna hop out real quick, box them up real quick, and hop back in. But we didn't have no gun, we didn't have no weapons, we didn't have nothing. So we put all our hoodies on. You know, it's cold outside, and we're passing by this corner store. I see 2 dudes come out with groceries in their hand, but they're clearly from that gang. You could tell that it's from that gang. So I'm seeing them from the rear view, and whatever, not the rear view, sorry, the side mirror as we're passing. And then this guy in the back tells the driver like, yo, Buster Huey, like, let's go back around. So we did. And it's crazy because at this time, I swear to God, there was a ton of traffic. But when we came back around, there was no car on the block. And it may seem like some shit out of like a movie, but I promise you it's what happened.
That's how it should be.
Yeah. And so you know how to, this is getting deep, huh? So anyway, so we go back around, and I happen to know just because I had been around there before, because one of my boys that I know from grammar school lived around that block. And I had bought weed from that house before. I know where these guys live. So I was the only one that knew to look to the left, that house. And when I looked to the left, those guys that we saw come out, I mean, because we didn't see, there was nobody in sight. So these guys that I'm in the car with, they're thinking, well, they disappeared, whatever, haha. And I looked to the left and I seen two hoodies, two dudes with black hoodies behind the fence. And I remember on purpose, I wasn't gonna say shit because I didn't say shit because I didn't wanna. What we're gonna do if we were to stop the car right there? I'm already knowing these guys. I probably went over there to stash up and grab it.
Mhm.
So I just kind of looked straight, and my last memory was stopping because of the speed bump, and boom, I got hit with the first shot. And so that memory, I could get into a lot more detail, but again, I feel like and it's not because I don't want to. I just feel like let's just kind of leave it okay. So I remember all of it. Like
Okay.
even while I was shot, I remember it all. Like I guess you could say I was unconscious, but I wasn't because I was still very much. I couldn't hear anything that was going on outside, out of the world. I couldn't feel anything, but I could think. I was thinking
Mhm.
everything. So I was confused. Like some shit happened to me. What happened to me? I'm over here trying to figure out what happened to me without being able to feel or hear anything. So like I was seeing some like white, like if I was kicked off of a building, and that's what it felt like. And I was scared as shit because I'm like, the only thing that makes sense right now is that I got shot in the head. That's the
Okay.
only thing that could have made sense to me.
Now this train of thought, like that we're talking about right now, is this? Are you still in the car? Or are you in the
Hmm.
hospital? You're still in the car.
I'm still in the car.
Okay.
Yeah. So then it kind of starts kicking in, like so like slowly. It slowly starts kicking in where I start feeling heat. Shouts out to heat, no pun intended. I start feeling heat coming down, like my face over here, and then I can start hearing that, like I can hear them yelling, like calling the ambulance. And that's when I knew, like you know, it happened, and the homie in the back put like a rag to like my head, and I just remember like as much as it's crazy when your body's in shock, you're not able to panic, at all. Like I'm just chill as can be. I remember I knew what happened, but I just remember thinking to myself like, damn, this is it. Like I fucked up.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't thinking at all I was gonna survive this because I couldn't what I was seeing and what I couldn't see or whatever the fuck was happening because it was a whole mess. You know what I'm saying? And then me finding out I got shot in the head, I said, wow, this is over with for me.
So, if we could just, go a little bit deeper.
Hmm.
Do when you were so when you started to feel the warmth and you realized, shit, I got shot in the head.
Hmm.
Do you remember at any point thinking like, this is really bad, or oh fuck, I got shot. It is what it is. Like,
No, I
was there
remember.
any surrender in that at all?
No, I remember my thought process for sure. I,
Hmm.
I remember me saying, "Damn, like this is how it ends for me." Like 16 years old, I ain't even fuck yet. I'm sorry to say it that way, but
No, I mean it's a trust tree.
you know what I'm
That's what we
saying?
do.
Like just everything. Like I was thinking everything. Like I was thinking I haven't lived anything, really hadn't. You know what I'm saying? And then I just remember thinking like my mom, my sister, like my friends. Like I fucked up. Like
Hmm.
that was my main thing. I was just like, I fucked up bad. I'm not gonna make it past this. Like I really didn't think I was gonna survive that for sure.
While you're thinking and experiencing all that, was it simultaneously? Do you remember feeling pain?
No, there was no pain at all. Like I remember all the way to where, because at this point, like once it started kicking in and it was slowly, then I remember when it kicked in fully. Like at this point now, I can hear everything clearly. At this point, I could feel the heat, but I can't feel the pain.
Hmm.
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, yeah, it
But
does.
we pulled into the Blue Line station, which is shared with where the train is at as well. But it's also like the bus terminal.
Hmm.
So we could park in there. So that's where we pulled up. And so I remember like the ambulance came. I remember all that shit. I remember when the ambulance came and they asked me to if I could take my legs out the car, and I remember doing that, and then they just snatched me up, threw me on a stretcher. I remember they got to work immediately, and I remember I asked a dude like, I get shot in the head, and he goes, "Yeah, buddy, just stay with me." And I remember him saying me like asking me like my mom's number, my address, and I told him everything. I remember all the way until I fucking got to the hospital. As soon as As soon as the doors to the hospital opened and it went through, you know, the wheels,
Yep.
that was when I went out. And I was out for 3 days. From what I remember, I was in ICU for 3 days. But if you ask anyone else who went to the hospital, from the people that were able to visit me, I was talking shit. And I guess you got to ask them our conversations because I don't remember.
You have
But
no recollection of that.
no, not those 3 days. Not for those 3 days. I was in the hospital for a total of 9 days, which is crazy because there's a dude that got shot in the ass who was in the same room as me, who was in the hospital for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, like what the? Okay,
No, I mean, you know, it's just side comment.
it is what it is.
No, I mean, I'm basically trying to say I'm resilient as shit.
No,
But you know,
clearly.
yeah. But at the end of the day, like, um, I remember the 4th day was when when I could remember again. And on the 4th day, it was actually right after I had gotten the surgery to remove this eye, because the bullet came out through the corner of this eye, right? And they wanted to revive it, but it was kind of just like it was a dead mission. You know what I'm saying? So they couldn't do it. So they had to remove it, and so they, you know, put something in place, you know, circular that also moves, you know, all of that shit, you know. Check out my OnlyFans if you want to see all that, because I ain't taking off my shades right now. And so you know, that like it's I don't have OnlyFans, by the way.
I was
But
just about to say, hey,
yeah.
definitely
Way overhead, huh? No, yeah.
I'm checking that in here because we're gonna definitely talk about that. But okay, and maybe that should be a thing. You might want to think about that shit.
Like the way you think. So anyway, yeah, I mean, from there, I again remember all of that and whatever, but that's the story.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay.
In a nutshell.
And now, is it that you're blind because there was an injury to your eye, or
Mhm.
you're blind because there's an injury to the part of your brain that controls sight?
No, no, it went into my temple basically. It didn't hit my brain. It went in left behind this eye, so it cut the optic nerve, and it came out of this eye, so it fucked up the eye.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. And all
There's a
this,
little more to it too, but you know, like there was a crack, you know, here, but that had nothing to do with the blindness. That was some other shit that happened.
okay.
I was actually leaking spinal fluid out of my nose because of the crack that I had right here, and that was the reason why they were basically saying I was gonna die.
So in essence, it's like they do the punch to the nose and the nose goes up. Like
No
I don't know what the
idea.
fuck that's called, but they do that shit on fucking kung fu movies and shit. It's
Uh,
supposed to be a move that can be done to punch you in your shit, and it pushes your shit up and then fucks it all up.
I don't think that's no, I don't think so. But I I do know that like it healed automatically from one day to the next, and
Oh,
they don't
shit,
and
that.
well, that's why they call me the miracle child at Masonic. They don't have an explanation. I don't know what happened. There's more to it too, again, but I'm trying to, like, you know, kind of
Yeah, I got you.
like I would love to say everything, but you can't say everything,
I got
right?
you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So being 16,
Mm-hmm.
having all this shit happen, how long between when you were shot and you were in a okay enough state for you to actually attend Walter Payton?
They didn't give me that much time. I mean, let's say I don't even want to lie to you. I don't know. I would say it was no more than a month and a half.
Okay.
I don't think so. Maybe even less. Honestly, I don't really remember. I know it wasn't that much time. Matter of fact, I still had the scab on my head when I
Okay.
was in schools. If that gives you any time, you know,
Mhm.
any you know, yeah. So I still had the scab on my head.
Okay.
Hmm.
Do you remember like being excited about going to the school? Or you were just like, that's some bullshit. I got to do this shit. Like, did you
I'm
think you were gonna go back to school?
No, I had no idea what the fuck I was gonna do. Honestly, I was thinking like, well, I can't go back to the dude that shot me went to my school. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Also, dudes from like a lot of those people from that hood are kind of like family. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of didn't really know how it would go. Like, and I'm just like, all right, if I go back to the school, you know, like this could be, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, because I didn't know no better. I'm thinking like, I'm probably gonna have to go back to that school, and I don't know how I would do that because it's a big ass school with a lot of fucking kids, and I'm blind now. How is this gonna work?
Right.
So when they hit me with, from Walter Payton, and they told me they have the program for that, and Walter Payton is a significantly smaller school, um, also much more accessible with people actually trained and helping you,
Hmm.
So that was a relief for me, I guess, in that sense, maybe thinking about it later on. But at that moment, I mean, I wasn't that excited about it, to be honest. I wasn't because everything was still so new to me. I was just trying to adjust. I didn't really know, how anything was gonna go in any way, school, life,
Hmm.
how I felt about anything. So like it was, yeah, nervous, but I wouldn't. Sure, there was probably some excitement. I don't know, but who's excited to go to school at 16? I mean,
True.
yeah, yeah,
I know a few people, but I
yeah,
got
me
you.
too. But I'm
Yeah.
saying me. Yeah.
So the person that actually shot you, did you ever like have an actual conversation with them after the fact?
He got locked up. So his family. Okay, hold up. Okay, yeah. Let me not say too much. He got locked up, and he got 15 years. So that was a whole process in itself. Like just the fact that like having to go to like a prosecutor and things like that I had never had to go through before.
Hmm.
And like I would have had to go to trial had he pleaded not guilty, but he pleaded guilty. Um, Good for him, because that's the only reason why he got 15 years, and that was the maximum he could have gotten
Hmm.
for pleading not guilty. I mean, sorry, for pleading guilty.
Yeah.
If he would have pleaded not guilty, and remember, he's 15, but he was tried as an adult. Um, but yeah,
Coming from that energy and growing up and living in it and functioning in it, do you think people can change?
yeah, yeah, for sure. I think, yeah, it's funny, man. A lot of the most like some of the most you meet a lot of really piece of shit people in this world,
Hmm.
and a lot of them don't even come from the streets.
Yeah.
And I know some of the most dopest dudes that exist that come from the streets.
Absolutely.
Like, and I can even put me in that category. Like, I would say I changed a lot. I don't know, because I don't really know exactly how to explain it. Like, what do I do? Like, I like talking about it. I went back to my own high schools and did like, motivational speakings in churches, and did anti-violence rallies, and been on radio shows, and made entire albums about it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care to talk to the most biggest, baddest motherfucker who ain't even big and bad to me no more. Like they was when you felt that way.
Hmm.
Until you figure out what's really who's really the big bad wolf. It's not that guy. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's all in the eye of the beholder, right?
Yeah.
Like what is bravery to you? Like what is strength to you? And I felt like that's when I empowered myself, because I had to learn myself. There was nobody in my family that ever been through anything like what I went through.
Hmm.
Not even close. In fact, uh, without words, it was a lot of ridicule, you know, and including what I felt towards myself, and I had to sit there. I had to sit there and really and sit with that myself, because I didn't have the choice to pop out no more, or walk out if I don't feel good, or look at something or read something. This was before I even had my phone or anything, or text somebody. No, fuck that. This was me sitting down on my bed, just only with my thoughts, and I really had to go through it with myself. So like I remember at that time, I just remember when everybody's pointing fingers at that person, this person, all of that.
Hmm.
I I had to realize this was my fault. Like, yeah, like whatever. You could say this, you could say that I'm young, but I'm not that young. You know what I'm saying? Like I was about to turn 17, very much able to make my own decisions,
Hmm.
knowing exactly what I did wrong. And then knowing that could possibly happen, and so like it just took a lot. I felt like that a lot of growth happened in very short time for me because of that experience. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of beauty and learning and just having to sit in it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. you've been asked this question 1,000 times, but I gotta ask: Do
Mhm.
you feel like you were able to pull the blessing out of the experience truly, aside from what you just talked about? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not just a blessing, like a million blessings.
what do you think your life would have looked like had you when you ride in that car and that never happened? Like,
I have no idea and I don't even care. See, like,
that's really what the answer that I was expecting you to say,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah. Like if you sit here and you think about the woulda, coulda, shouldas, then you're
Hmm.
just gonna drive yourself crazy. There's no answer to that. I
Yeah,
can only answer what I know, and
yeah.
that's now, you know? So yeah, that's
I think if more people felt that way,
mhm,
we'd have a lot more progress in life. There,
yeah.
that whole woulda, coulda, shoulda shit.
Mhm.
Like, really wondering that is some crazy shit.
Yeah, and look, you're gonna wonder it. You know what I'm saying? But
But
it
really, like, searching and seeking it, it's
no,
like,
searching and
what
seeking
the fuck are you? Who's gonna tell you?
right,
What the
right,
fuck's going on?
right, exactly, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I love the positivity in you. Like,
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure you have your days, because everybody fucking does. But
Oh yeah.
like coming, like, being so even though you weren't really super young, that's still fucking young. You know what I'm saying?
I was young.
And even though you could make decisions at the same time, that's some heavy shit.
Yeah.
And then we ain't have all the shit we got now, the entertainment and all
Mhm,
that kind of stuff. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? Like, and
mhm.
being able to come through that, like good for you. Um,
Thank you.
at that time though, when, like at 16, had you discovered that you had MC in you?
Oh shit. All right. I love this question. Look, back when I was 7 years old, I called myself the flavor saver.
The flavor
Yeah, it makes no
saver.
fucking sense. But the point of the
The
point is,
flavor
matter of fact, I was
saver.
9, sorry. Look, the point is, like, I loved hip like, I fell in love with hip hop at 9. I always listened, like, hip hop was around, right? Like, it was around, I remember it, like, on the radio, this and that, but when I actually got, like, my first album, it was an Eminem album, the Eminem Show, but Eminem is a real lyricist, and he contrary to what a lot of people sometimes think, if you actually dive into his shit, he really knows how to dissect his how he feels in his own
Mhm,
way, but he does it. It's therapeutic. You know what I'm saying? So I always kind of took from that, and then 50 Cent, it kind of all fell once you go through the Eminem, then 50 came, then all of that, you kind of just start falling through that whole cave, through that
mhm,
whole little wave.
mhm,
And all of these people, I mean, at the end of the day, they do express themselves, and although a lot of it is, the appearance aspect of it and the whatever it may be, all of those things play a role, but at the same time, once you get to live what isn't the fun parts of it, and and it kind of clicks with you a little bit more. Now you get to listen to a song not like how you ever listened to it before,
mhm,
and now you heard it a million times, so now it's like, hold up, okay, you start understanding the magic, and what lyricism is, or just song making in general, because I was always like, I remember when I was a kid, um, we had poetry class in school when I was in fourth grade, and I remember I would actually I did a pretty good job. You know what I'm saying? So I remember I would like my teacher would be like, you're really good, and I noticed that I was pretty decent at it. So like, I don't know, it was always in my head that I liked poetry. And then when I was in high school, the first one, I don't know. I started like I made one rap where I like filled up like one note like a sheet of notebook paper, and I would rap it to my guys, and one of my guys recorded it, and he went and started showing that video to everybody. Now everybody's like, "Yo, you gotta check out Giancarlo. He's snapping. Listen to this shit." But I never wanted to be. I wasn't a rapper.
mhm.
Um, but this, yeah, it was totally the reason. Like, so like now, fast forward, like I had this whole idea, the temporary blackout, right? I have it tattooed on my chest. It stands for that I'm gonna be able to see again, and we're just in this blackout temporarily. That's a fact. And so I wanted to title the track, and at this point, I didn't. The idea in my head wasn't, all right, I'm gonna start rapping now. It was just, I want to make a song telling my story, what happened to me. I think that'll be dope. And I remember I probably attempted to write this song maybe a total of like 4 or 5 times. And I did it to the Immortal Technique Dance with the Devil beat, right?
Mhm.
So and then I even switched the beat, right? So like this shit had a lot of life, you know. I remember I'm 6 minutes in
Damn.
and I'm not even halfway done with my story. But remember, this is my first song that I'm
Mhm.
writing. So like I don't know how to write a song or how to try to make it concise. So that song never got finished. But I remember it didn't sound bad. And you know, it was me hearing myself on the track and hearing how I was able to put together rhymes or how to put together a scenario, or how I felt, or how this or how that. That was what inspired me. So I kind of gave up on that song. It never got finished and shit. I'll never hear it again. It's just in some laptop that's somewhere far, far somewhere. I don't know where. But I started working on my other track, which is called Reach for the Stars, which is my first song that I released on my SoundCloud right now. And it's crazy when I go and listen back to that
Mhm.
because you hear, I don't even call myself GC, I call myself John. That's just how long it was ago. You know what I'm saying? Like I was a kid. But from there, just then I got my heart broke. Then I wrote a love song, and that shit sounded great. So I just, so I just, so I just, so I just kept on going. And I mean, from there, I just always used it as my diary. Like that's why I've said this before here in the same place. Like nothing that I've ever written ever is ever a lie. Like everything I've ever written that's on a song is
Mhm.
always, it's all true. 100% of my rhymes are 100% true. And I pride myself on that because I only write something if I feel it. Yeah. So it's like my diary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a hell of an outlet. Um, what does your daily life look like?
Huh. That's an interesting question. My daily life looks at trying to look at things in a positive way.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we'll leave that there.
How's your independence? Like, are you comfortable like just like moving freely and whatnot?
Depending on where I'm at. Like, for example, I was just in another country for 3 months.
Okay.
I don't know shit about.
And you look like you was having a ball.
Did I?
You did.
I thank you. It was cool. But ups and downs like anything, right? But it's interesting because when you go out to places like that, right, they're much more underdeveloped than the United States.
Mhm.
So the streets are shit. Uh, like even like the way the sidewalks are, nothing like, there's potholes everywhere, this and that. Like it really gave me an appreciation for the United States. Uh, what are we gonna call it?
Here.
Their landscaping. Thank you, brother. Yeah, for the landscaping and the urban planning. Yeah, because when you're over there, you realize, I mean, yeah, obviously because they don't have the funds for it or this and that, and also because it's not something that they really look at much. They don't pay attention to disability or nothing like that over there.
Mhm.
Like not as much. I don't want to say completely. I don't know, but I know that like in the United States, I move a lot more comfortably. I know that if I'm at home, or anywhere that I know, or anybody's house who's my family's who I already know, just give me give me a solid 8 hours of just doing my thing, and after that, we don't ever got to see each other. Just leave me at your house alone. Sounds
Oh,
weird,
that's dope.
but you know what I mean. I
Yeah.
just I just mean like yeah, I can maneuver. I can maneuver very well, very well. But obviously, I feel like a lot of people, the way that they see it, if they see me walking with somebody outside or something like that, I mean, hey, look, if I don't know a spot, I don't know a spot.
Yeah.
Especially because majority of the places that I do go to, there's a lot of people, a lot of interaction.
Mhm.
I'm not trying to run into people. I'm not trying to kick over babies. I'm not trying to do no weird shit like that.
Yeah.
So I kind of really just stick to,
I'm just gonna stay the fuck right
yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Just keep it cool, and yeah, that's but that has a lot. There's a lot. I do know how to use the cane. I do know how to use it, but that's a matter of like that's not that doesn't necessarily have to do with do you know how to use it. Sometimes it's just more of a mental thing. Like I haven't fully accepted that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so that's it's an emotional thing. It's maybe a strength thing as well. Maybe I haven't gotten there yet. I don't know. But I will if I have to. So don't make me pull it.
At this point,
That's
what do you think your life's purpose is?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think anybody really ever knows that. You know, I think that's the good thing about it. Is like just live. You don't know who you're gonna know 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, true.
You know, and what they're gonna need or might need or what you might need from them. So what's the purpose? It's always gonna continue to be a different purpose. I feel like ultimately your purpose should just be being as well with you can with yourself, you know, because then you could be better with anyone else. I would say.
Yeah.
And you obviously want to be able to be a self I don't know, keep yourself good, like, because if not, I mean, you eventually, just like anything else, you'll break down, and then how can you really live, you know?
Hmm.
Like, I pride myself on the fact, I think my superpower is putting on a genuine smile. I don't smile for cameras. I don't smile because it looks nice. You know what I'm saying? I smile because I genuinely mean it. And I think that that's my superpower. And
Hmm.
I don't know where the hell I get that power out of, but I do feel it. And maybe it has to do with the fact that, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of things that could be, you know, but I guess I'm just thankful for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it's more valuable to strive to be happy or to be content?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like they go hand in hand. I mean, I can't be content if I'm not happy. I can't be happy if I'm not content.
I fucks with that.
You know, so yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Do you feel like at this juncture, like your positivity like surprises you, or is it just like as soon as you hear some bad news or some shit that's just like I don't got time for this shit, like you automatically flip a switch, like glass half full?
No, yeah, no. Trust me, I'm not like I'm cool like right now. But you know, like yesterday I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Like there's things that, as a matter of fact, not just yesterday. I wasn't cool 3 hours ago. I won't go into the reasons why, but I'll just say that I'm a man of my word. I said I'd be here, so I came. If it was anything else, I would have canceled because honestly, I felt like shit. But I'm here, and I knew that this podcast would be something about this anyway, and I'm all right with that. You know, showing this side of me. I've said a lot of shit on camera already. I can't take it back now. So, so it is what it is. But like, to be honest, like I'm all right with whatever I say as long as I mean what I say. You know. So what was the question?
Shit, I fucking forgot myself. Glass half full, like
Yeah, no, the whole glass. It don't matter. It is what it is. Like it's just it is what it is. I could any day I could be anything.
Hmm.
You know, and it just depends on who you are to me. You know, if we're not tight like that, you just won't hear from me. Simple as that. You won't hear from me because I I don't want to answer your phone call or hang out with you if I can't. You know what I mean? Like if
Yeah,
I can't, I can't be there. Like because I won't mentally be there.
yeah,
So like that's probably why maybe a lot of people say that they hadn't seen that part of me, that side of me. But like, well, you can ask around. There's a lot of people that see me cry, and I'm okay with that. You know, I vouch hard for whoever wants to, you know, let them tears go. You know, because life is really that serious. You know what I'm saying? And things really do hurt that bad.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm no one here to, you know, to try to hold back tears as if I'm Mr. You know, I don't feel shit. That's just not how it is, you know? So, yeah.
When when you're like going through some shit, like let's say a little bit lighter, like let's say like it's a heartbreaking shit, like are you able to accept advice from people, or are you one of those people that you got to sit in it, you got to sit in silence and like think your way through it?
Hey, man, if I'm in love, don't give me no advice. I ain't listening.
Sound about right.
Yeah.
Sound about right.
Yeah. That's a fact.
Burn the motherfucking house down in the name of love. Absolutely.
No, but I mean, it gets to a point. Everybody's gonna have their opinions.
Hmm.
Like, you could love a girl. Hey, that shit could flourish, but somebody's always gonna have a bad opinion. You know, it's not like everything's always gonna be good. There might be that one person. There might be that one person you really don't want to have that bad opinion, like your own mother.
Yeah.
But it happens,
Like, nah, that bitch gotta go.
right?
And what do you do to that? Like,
Well,
that's some shit though. Like, like,
yeah.
like, what if you just like really don't agree? Like, I just really don't agree with you. Like, we're gonna have to see this one through.
Well, I mean, that's just the difference, you know. It's just like, well, luckily for me, I don't really have to go through that much. I mean, my mom is actually pretty dope. Shouts out to my mom. Like, it's like my mom is like, if I'm happy and she sees that the girl is cool, she won't look too deep into it, you know. But like, shit, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but
Is
yeah, what?
is MCing the thing that makes you feel most alive?
Mm. That's it. I know it makes me feel very alive. It keeps you on your toes 100% because, like, for example, I might go MC right after this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you know you don't want to fuck up on stage, you know? Whether it's a freestyle or something that you wrote, you know? So you try your hardest, and nothing hurts more than forgetting a bar. Even if it's one stutter. I'm the type of dude that'll go back home and cry about that.
God damn.
That's just me. And I've done it,
That's
like
passion.
literally.
That's
Like, you know
passion.
what I mean? So like so I work hard to not be that, but there's gonna be that. There's gonna be imperfection with any type of craft, you know, like that you really put your heart into. Because the heart ain't perfect necessarily either, you know. You have feelings, you know, and it goes all types of ways. So I don't know. But yeah, I would say that. Sure, not the most, but shit, love makes me feel alive. Family makes me feel alive. Uh, being alive makes me feel alive. You know, shit, what we talking? So yeah.
if let's say God came down and said, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to be able to see, but not an amount of time. You could just see one thing. Do you have any fucking idea what you would pick?
Oh shit. No, I would tell him keep that. Hold that down for. I'll let you know when I'm ready. I don't know,
That's fucking interesting.
cause because there's nothing. There's so many things I could choose. Like, okay, think about it this way. So since I've been blind, I dated a girl for 8 years. I don't even want to say date, right? I had a girlfriend for 8 years. Then after that, I've dated whatever, uh, or where I was just at. I was talking to a girl. Think about it. When you're like madly in love or some shit, if God asked me that question while I'm madly in love, I'd probably say I want to see my girl. Or how about the fact that I haven't seen my fucking self in I don't know how many years? That sounds a little
Yeah.
selfish.
No,
Or
I
how
mean
about
that's valid.
or how about the fact that I have nieces and nephews and I don't know what they look like,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So like all of that shit hurts. Or if I have a kid tomorrow, well, you're damn right I want to see my kid. So I'm saying I can't give God that
Yeah, just
answer.
keep it in the chamber
Yeah,
if
got
that's an option.
gotta do it.
I think he would have to respect that because that's a great fucking answer to that question.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's one thing that you learned about yourself over the last year?
Year?
Mhm. Or fuck it,
Shit.
5 years if you want. I mean,
No, that's a big difference. Let's keep it one. I learned that take more leaps of faith,
mm,
even if they're scary as hell. And I felt like I could have said those same exact words 3 years ago, but not have understood the magnitude of how I mean it now. You know, like because in this past year, I took a leap of faith to go to a whole nother country where I didn't know anybody and live a whole new life for 3 months
mhm,
and then come back here. And it resulted in being something that gave me a lot of peace of mind. And I learned a lot about myself and got myself better in a lot of ways, you know.
mhm.
So I would say that take leaps of faith, but understanding the magnitude.
Okay.
Mm.
A lot of people, obviously we take for granted that, we just can see motherfuckers, right?
Right.
So I'm looking at you, you look weird. or you got an ice
Oh damn!
grill.
I thought you was telling me. I'm about to
No,
say,
no,
girl, you
no, no.
that's fucked up.
Like you got like a, like you got an ice grill. Like you just generally look uneasy, like a motherfucker that I don't want to walk up to and talk to.
Yeah.
Like, how do you encounter new people? Like, even if it's a chick you want to talk to, like,
I actually
what the fuck
love
is
that.
that?
I actually love that you just said that. That to me is sometimes the funniest shit. Is how when a dude has that ice grill, and I'm just so like, hey, what's up, bro? Like with a smile on my face, and I'll just shake your hand because now you're like, well, now you're what the fuck does that ice grill count for?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if you want to keep on pushing that agenda, I'll just tell you, like, hey, bro, I came out tonight to have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
If you came out to do that with somebody, hey, bro, there's plenty of people out there, bro, but I'm not the one. And it's not because, you know, it's just because
Get the fuck out of here.
get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I love it because, look, a lot of the times it's true that sometimes may not work in your favor. Like sometimes it doesn't always work in my. It's not always a positive. It could be a negative because a lot of the times if I try to approach somebody with my energy and they're just, let's say, not feeling good at the moment, and then I'm overly pushing my positive agenda, well, that might not be good either.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, it all depends. It really does develop the other side in you, which has to read the person, you know, in every way, from the way that they shake your hand to the way that they say hello or the way they say bye, like whatever it is, you know, that's a big thing. But yeah.
So I don't know if I told you this the first time, like, well, when you came to do UNRAP, the first time I met you was at Sub T, and nobody told me ahead of time that you were blind.
Oh yeah.
So I had no fucking idea.
Oh, I think I remember. Oh, I do remember that.
I just kept saying, like, what the fuck is going? Like, why is everybody being so fucking like it wasn't necessarily like protective, but kind of sort of at the same time. And then after I realized that shit, I'm like, oh, this, like, you're fucking fascinating because like you, like, your vibe was fucking amazing. Like you was just like, you was just chilling. Like, where we going now? Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? What we doing now?
Oh, that sounds good. Yeah,
and the funniest fucking shit was when we was all taking the group picture, and you was like, where the fuck the camera at?
Yeah. That's totally me. Where the camera at?
I think I laughed for like 3 fucking minutes because the way you said it, it was just like, you fucking idiots. Like, nobody thought to say, hey, look in this direction. You know
but
what
that
I'm saying?
happens all the time. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something. If you're gonna take a picture with me, it's only bad for you if I look bad in it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's your fucking picture.
Right.
If it's mine, I'm gonna make sure I'm looking at the cam.
Right.
But it's yours. Make sure everybody looks good.
That's why when you sat down, the first thing I told you was where the motherfucking camera was at. Because I will never. That shit was so fucking funny to me.
I appreciate.
Everybody was like, "Oh yeah, oh shit, my bad." God damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you truly think that money can buy happiness?
I think money can buy temporary happiness. I think happiness is also temporary. I think temporary blackout. That was just a little drop. Just a little drop.
I see.
No, honestly, I don't know. I feel like money can fix certain problems, but it can't fix your main problems. You know, whatever you have within yourself, money can't fix it. You know, but hey, shit. I mean, maybe there's certain things that could really help you out. You know, and money can probably help you with that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have money like that for me to know, but when I do, I'll come back to this podcast and let y'all know.
What's one thing that you think everybody should experience at least once in life?
Step outside the box, travel. You know, live something outside of your norm, because then you'll understand a lot more about yourself. It's just good to know about other things as well, and other places and cultures and people. You know, it's good to be knowledgeable.
Yeah.
It's good to be able to have conversations without being biased or you know, just a person like that so close-minded. I know a lot of people, you know, that haven't left the whatever block radius, and then I come back from a trip, you know, from here, from there, and I don't like the way I feel about it is just like, man, I really wish I could just take you, you know, because you just want people to experience that sometimes. You just see how much you're missing out on.
Yeah.
And I feel like it could give you a lot of clarity.
Yeah.
You know?
I always said that people that live in neighborhoods or areas where there's only one type of people and they don't really get exposure outside of that neighborhood, because there are a lot of people who've never even been downtown before.
Right.
And of course, you know, a lot of times it's for safety concerns, but
Mhm.
still.
Mhm.
And then also too, like you said, with the traveling, because like I grew up on the north side where there's everything.
Right, right.
So like I think my perspective is a lot different, and then just interacting with people,
Mhm.
because like it's to me it's kind of weird like when the first time you really interact with white people or somebody that's not black is when you get your first job
Right,
as an adult,
right, right.
you know.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of that shit going around.
Mhm.
Have you ever thought about writing a book about your life?
Yeah. Yeah, I have. I just felt like, I do wanna write a book eventually, but if I do, I just felt like there's still a lot more.
Hmm.
I still got a lot more chapters to live, I hope.
Yeah.
Um, but, like, at least in the way that I envision my book to be, I don't want it to end, you know, here.
Okay.
I and I know I'm you see my face. I'm kinda like I wanna say what I just said, but I don't. Because I get it, like, tomorrow's not promised, and if anybody's gonna I don't want nobody writing my biopic, you know what I mean? But but I'm saying, like, I definitely do wanna write a book, but I just feel like there's a few more things I wanna really learn in life before I get to that point.
Who would you want to play you in a biopic?
It's probably just some up and comer person, not anybody specifically. Sorry, I wish I had a better answer.
No,
I,
I'm just
I would
curious.
I would definitely pick like a up and comer that nobody knows. You know, that's what I would choose.
Like sometimes people be like, I want Buddy from Twilight or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, no,
I'm
that
just
doesn't work
curious.
for me.
I'm just curious.
Yeah. The buddy from Twilight we fucked up.
with the British with the
the
British accent.
Yeah, please, my name is JC Blackout Rap. Yeah, that would not work. You want to see a nigga like me rap? I rap so hard. Yeah, I'm not doing that, man.
Oh shit. What motivates you to just keep going, to just keep doing everything, just keep being you?
I would say other my relationships.
Mhm.
Nobody does anything alone in life. And for anybody that says that they do, that's a lie. You have motivation somewhere. Even if it's your enemy motivates you, you know, somehow, some way. For me, it's the love that I have, from my family, from people that I feel like are my brothers, people that really support. Every time I shed a tear, you shed a tear with me. That means a lot.
Mhm.
Even I mean, whatever it may be, but I definitely feel like relationships. When you get to hear how other people, what they go through and how they feel, how they interpret, just so many things like that. I think that that's what motivates me because there's really nothing. I mean, what else?
Mhm.
If you don't have people, if you don't have relationships, what is the money worth? What are you doing? There's nothing else I could think of that tops that. My opinion, but yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah. I definitely agree with that.
mhm.
One question that I ask everybody that comes on the show, you're in a room with everyone you've ever loved, dead or alive. Um, who do you run to?
If if what?
I mean, you're in the room, like you got the opportunity to literally be with everybody you've ever loved.
Oh, okay. Oh, that I've ever loved, like,
Mhm.
just to what? Just give him a hug or something?
Whatever you want to do. Who's the
Whoa.
first person you trying to hug?
Mm, uh, I don't know. I don't think there isn't. I don't have an answer to that question. Not for nothing. I just don't think there's nobody really that I love more than the people I already have.
Okay.
I've had losses, but you know, losses are losses, and I made my peace with it. I have my mom, I have my sisters, and you know, I have a lot of great people. So I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
Are you expressive in your relationships? Like, how they say give people their flowers while they're here?
Extremely.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I pride myself on that. You know, I feel like that's the most important thing. Like, I'm definitely that guy to
Mhm.
call you and tell you I love you. I'm that guy to make somebody uncomfortable because they might have not heard it enough. You
Like, what the
know,
fuck?
you know what I mean? Like, that's me. And I'm cool with that because I've learned in my experience how easy it is to go, um, how easy it is to lose, and I'm not I just don't care about how you like if I'm telling you I love you, it's not because you hate me. You know what I'm saying? It's because, you got to hear it. Like, for example, Yadiel, because I know he's listening to this or
Mhm.
going to. That's my cousin. As a matter of fact, can I say this?
Yeah.
The last time that I was here, I didn't bring up his name in our interview. And I'm gonna redeem myself here. Because without him, and I want to make this clear, my cousin is like my brother. Like, I have a brother now. I know that sounds weird, but I've had a brother. He lives in Ecuador. But I didn't meet my brother all the way up till 5 years ago. My brother's 44 years old. You know, up to that point, it was my cousin was my brother, and we're the only boys. So he's nothing but sisters. I'm nothing but sisters, and we grew up together. He got 2.5 years on me, but all we did was everything together growing up: baseball, basketball, this, that, the third. And then it's a funny thing, right, about that brotherhood, right, where it's like everything you could do, I could do better, right?
Mhm.
Then I'm like, I'm gonna start rapping. And instead of this mother, because he can't rap, this motherfucker starts engineering, and boy, does he kill it, right? Which I thought was the illest part because we found a way to like, I mean, when I tell you that it's like peanut butter and jelly, like my first album, he mixed it. My second album, he mixed it. And if anybody's heard those albums, they know like that shit sounds like it was mixed at a studio. But I wouldn't even choose a studio over my cousin. And I don't mean it just be off the relationship. I mean just because of his vision. And him knowing me, it just made it so much better because, but anyway, yo, cuz, thank you. Because I'm gonna say it just like this. He is very much let's say I'm 70%, let's say I'm 60. I'll give you 40, bro. He's 40%, like responsible for Dark Portraits. He's 40% responsible for Synesthesia. And it's dope. Without him, I would have never done the work that I've done. That's why it's been so hard for me to get my feet wet again in this music stuff because I hadn't done it without him. I'm barely getting it done now. But I want to give him his flowers because that's my boy. I saw him today. Love you, bro. There you go.
Okay. All right. Well, I ran out of shit to talk about.
It's all good.
I think you did a absolutely amazing job of, painting the pictures, for us.
Mm.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you, coming out, life be lifing. I understand that. I
Hmm.
really, really appreciate that because you definitely were one of the first ones that I wanted when I really honestly like the second reason that I really seriously wanted to do the show. Cause when the last time when I talked to you, it was a thought,
Hmm.
it was something that I always wanted to do, but just like putting it together.
Yeah.
But then when I met you and then we were talking and I was just like, man, that's the type of shit that people need to hear about, people need to see,
Yeah.
because there are a lot of motherfuckers out here that are just like, I'm done. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like life,
Yeah.
life has lifed me the fuck out and I'm through and I just can't do it no more. But
Right.
like hearing about your story and coming through what you came through and how you came through is what people need to know and what people need to see.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and no judgment, because we don't know what people deal with and how they handle it and how much they can handle it. But
Right.
still, I think, real stories and people telling they truths and shit in their own words is priceless.
Yeah. For sure. I agree.
So we appreciate the fuck out of you
Hey,
for
are we
making the
dapping?
trek.
Dap.
I appreciate that shit for
Dap for
real,
the
for real.
cam. Where the cam at? No, I'm kidding, man. We know where's that. I ain't gonna do you like that.
Yes, yes, yes. So thank you
Yeah.
so much for coming out.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate you for having me.
And
Appreciate the heat. Appreciate to everybody out here. So much love.
anything you want to say to the people before we get the fuck out of here?
Hey man, apply yourself to supply your wealth. Now, see, I'm over here trying to get game. Honestly,
Bars.
hey, no, it's not mine. I took that. I'm not gonna take credit for that.
Whoever's fucking bars.
Yeah, yeah. But no, honestly, yeah, just say, I would say be expressive the way I just did it today. I feel like I gave a good example of that. Uh, not on purpose. It's just what came out, and I hope that you guys got to learn a little bit something maybe that you didn't know from me before. And that same story that everybody asked me a million times, I might just recommend them to this video instead. Every time somebody asks me, yo, what happened to you? I might just be like, yo, here's a link.
Like, for real, like, yes.
So we'll leave it there, man. Peace and blessings to all y'all.
Yes, yes. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Trust Tree. I really appreciate. Please like, share, subscribe. We appreciate all the engagement. You know, tell everybody you know about the goddamn show and all the other things we got going on the UNRAP channel. We really, really, really appreciate everybody for rocking with us. I usually got a journal prompt for people, but fuck a journal prompt. I say quiet, silence, solace. Sit in fucking silence for a little while and see what that sounds like. In the words of Avon Barksdale, keep it light, keep it